tech over the ball. Tom calling signals.
Back! 818! Back! 818!
Whoa! Yeah.
Pat!
Hands off to Garrick.
You're a dead man!
Stops Garrick for a 2-yard loss.
I don't think you got it, pal!
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Cowboy fans. NFL season is here. I was going to say Vietnam, but remember that movie? Good morning, Vietnam. Good morning, everybody. Game Time Brian here. Yes, Game Time Brian for exactly one more week until it reverts back to otherwise known as coming soon to a mail truck near you, unfortunately. But one more week. We sit here literally this time next week. We would have already seen the first full game. I watched the Colorado game last night. North Dakota State with Trey Lance's younger brother. They're always a tough team, aren't they? They're always a tough team. It was a good game, kind of a sloppy game at first. Colorado, I don't know that they're going to be as good as everybody thinks they're going to be. It's hard going out and grabbing all these portal guys and then trying to, they have a lot of talent. But, again, there's a lot of good head coaches out there. So we'll see how far Colorado goes. Early returns are... there was some pressure on Shedeur early on. There definitely was. He missed some things, too. As well as he played, he definitely missed some things. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I'm like, I'm going to be watching Shedeur more. All the talk, with Dak Prescott coming out and saying, if I'm not signed, it says a lot. Listen, people, Shedeur is going to be a top-of-the-draft type of guy. How are you getting him? And go ahead, trolls. Go ahead. Say, well, you're going to be close to the top of the draft. No, we're not. Big Sills. Put down the cheesesteak or whatever it is that you're pounding down your gullet. And we're not winning 5 games, bro. You're a troll to the highest of trolls. Let's just face it. We're not winning 5 games. Whether we win 9, 10, 11, 12, we'll see. We got a tough schedule at first. Things have to come together. I'm going to stick to my guns. Also, I'm going to stick to calling people out when I see it. You know how I do. I keep it real. If I see BS, I'm going to call BS. But anyway, circling back, Vinny. Circling back. We're going to circle back, bro. We sit here a week away. The game between who is it? Ravens at the Chiefs? Is that who it is, or is it the Jets at the Chiefs? See, man, my memory's horrible. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Ravens at the Chiefs. I thought so. Ravens at the Chiefs Thursday, September 5th. Chiefs are only a 3-point favorite. I hope the Chiefs smash them. I don't know. I just do. All the shit talking, these Ravens think they're all that in a bag of chips. And then you got Eagles are a 2.5-point favorite in Brazil against the Packers. The line, it's low for me. It's awful low. Dallas is a 2.5-point underdog. 2.5-point underdog in Cleveland. So what they're telling you is Dallas's line is always a little bit inflated because people like betting on Dallas. Why, I don't know. But basically telling you Dallas is a slightly better team going on the road. Usually the home team gets 3 points. Usually the line is elevated or de-elevated in this case. So what it's telling you is Dallas is probably a 4-point underdog in reality. So field goal game. Who do you want? Dak Prescott has 22 game-winning drives. Deshaun Watson's good. We'll see. I was kind of hoping that Ayuk would have went to Cleveland. Now, as we turned out, Ayuk signs 4-year, $120 million deal, $76 million guaranteed. So you figure CD had with 136, 130, something like that. $100 million guaranteed, 4-year deal. So good for Brandon Ayuk. Now, they still got Trent Williams. To me, that was the more important piece. Without Trent Williams, good luck. Brock Purdy, good luck. I want to see teams lose their left tackle like the Cowboys have done for years. For years. And listen, it was the Cowboys' problem for not having a good backup, the left tackle. So Tyron Smith's averaged 7 games played over the last 5 years. He's averaged 7 games played every year for the last 5 years. You cannot win that way when your left tackle is not available. Hence, Tyler Guyton. Tyler Guyton is the key. Tyler Guyton has the 3rd best offensive line grade, veterans included, by Pro Football Focus this year, this preseason. All signs point up, way up. Like we said, Dallas rarely misses on these type of talents. I'm thinking, I wouldn't call it a rough, but I think they may have found a diamond. We'll see how fast. We'll see what they're going to, what the game plan is for Cleveland. We'll see how the defense is out of the gate against Cleveland. That'll be a question. I just can't believe it's here, but it is here. It is here. You'll be seeing a lot from me this upcoming week in a preparation of the first full weekend of football. We got the first full weekend of college coming up. Really enjoyed the game last night. I really enjoyed the Phillies comeback against the Braves last night. That was huge. 4-game series against Atlanta Braves. They need to win 3 at least. I would love a 4-game sweep. We got Ranger Suarez back. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Anyway, I'm going to play a few clips here, I think. We're just going to listen in to Mike McCarthy talking about, I haven't even watched it yet, but I got through the first 3 or so minutes. We're going to let it run for a little bit. The Cowboys let us share their content. Thank you, Dallas. That's the one thing that Dallas I do appreciate. Although I don't appreciate the timing of contracts and negotiating in the media, I get it. That's an old way of doing business, but they got the CD deal done. Love it or hate it. All the people who hate CD Lamb said, trade him. He ain't going nowhere. So we'll see about Dak. It doesn't. I still stick to it could happen in November. I think what they're waiting to see is how Dak Prescott comes out of the gates, right? Think about it. Just sit back and think about it. I'm on board with drafting a young guy I'm on board with keeping Trey Lance, and I'm on board with keeping a Dak Prescott. Okay, I'm talking a first-round quarterback. I'm on board with it, or maybe it's trade up to the top of the second. Wherever you draft in the first round, I'm on board with moving up some spot. I'm not on board with going all the way up to the top. There's going to be some quarterback. I'm okay with it. I think a quarterback competition is what it's about. I think the future of Trey Lance is huge. Bo Nix is older than Trey Lance, people. Just everybody remember. So I wish we would have saw a little more of Trey. But then again, if we did, I think Dallas would have turned their back completely on Dak. And maybe I know that's what some of you have wanted, but we don't really know. We've only seen. Trey needs to learn reps. Hopefully this coaching staff is intact beyond this year and going forward. The future is bright. A lot of these teams, they're in cap hell. Once we re-sign Dak, if we re-sign Dak, we're going to be good. Especially if they wait until like November, like I keep saying, November. If they do that, it'll basically be tacking on, which I love that. It's going to cost you more, Dallas, for doing it. But if you think about it, it probably would be more wise to do that than to do it now. But either way, you're going to create a lot of cap room, plenty of room to sign everybody you want to sign, especially with a team who drafts as well as Dallas. Last year aside, now we see Mozzie Smith, who is only in year 2. You see Mozzie Smith, and you see a guy that kind of like Nolan Smith. He was, only two draft positions apart. Got a hair here. I don't know where it's at, but all the trolls out there want to, compare Jordan Davis to Mozzie Smith. Dallas gave up the 26th pick in the draft, or 27th. I can't remember. I think it was 26 for Mozzie. Eagles gave up a low teens pick, and you traded up to that spot to get it. You gave up multiple draft picks. It's like totally different. You want to compare players, compare Nolan versus Mozzie going forward. I'm not here to tell you Nolan Smith's a bust. We'll see what he looks like in this system, just like we'll see what Mozzie Smith looks like in this system. I think that's fair. The Eagle fans, is that fair? Like, can we give Mozzie another year? You know me, I'll throw him under the buses and then back over him if he's that bad. I don't think that's the case. I think he suffers from, he's a very sensitive kid. And that's what he is. Even though these guys are huge, mountain of men. At the end of the day, they're kids. They're kids coming out of college who played a certain way, asked to play a certain way, coming to the pros. Now all of a sudden your coach is telling you he wants to change the type of player you are. Shame on you, Dan Quinn. Shame on you. Yes, I'm calling out Dan Quinn. Shame on you. You're a great man. You support our military, but that doesn't mean you're perfect as far as a football coach. Dan Quinn, shame on you for trying to change this kid. You could try and help the kid. And then the kid started getting in his own head. The kid lost the way. My God, he wants me to be a pass rusher. Mozzie Smith's not a pass rusher. We're going to find out about Mozzie, but let's listen to Coach McCarthy. He's going to cover various issues with the Cowboys. Let's just listen in. I'll stop it where I can and give you my thoughts as we get ready for the season. So let's go.
Relationships, networks, they go on in this industry, and obviously with Mike being the head coach and having those guys is, it's important.
Getting back to the running back position for a second, Deuce, he made the final roster. We've been talking, since last year about his role and how you can use
Mark
it. How you define, how you can use him and get enough touches for him to justify him.
Well, definition. I think like anything, if you watch, you all have been here. You look at the way we train players. Deuce is one of the players that was trained, both as a receiver and a running back this past off season and training camp. He missed some time there at training camp. So yeah, we're trying to expand the value of all these guys, and this is an example of it. But now it comes time to game planning and how he fits into that and create those opportunities.
Mike Todd with ESPN. With CD, what have you noticed since he's gotten in the building, and how quickly can he get into team stuff?
CD's jacked. It's great to have him. I mean, he walks into the room, with that big smile. He just lights up the room. So, I mean, it's been awesome having him back. But, this will be the first
jacked for a slot
real,
receiver.
test as far as, workload capacity. We've been in the last 2 practices have been very, very light in nature just because of the setting and open to public and those types of things. Obviously, we weren't going to do anything last 2 practices that were going to be involved in Cleveland. So, today's our first opportunity to go get it and start the real preparation for Cleveland. So he'll take more reps today than he did the last 2 days for sure.
You mentioned that he's jacked. Did the size kind of catch up?
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, just knowing that he's put on the weight and he looks great. I think he looks great.
Was he a guy who needed it a little bit to handle more bumps and bruises, or?
He looks great, Todd. That's all.
What are you trying to get at?
John Machota with The Athletic.
Johnny Matthews.
When he wasn't doing the 7-on-7 stuff, him and Brandon Cooks were off to the side. Do you anticipate Cooks doing more today, or is he still kind of going to be limited?
He'll do a little more today, yes. Just being smart with Brandon. Also, Zach Martin's in that same category. We're just being smart with these guys. So
long season.
John.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Rico Dow, he's been battling health issues the last couple of years. Last year, he was pretty much healthy. How vital can he be to this running game?
I mean, he's going to have opportunities, and we tend to forget, Rico's. I thought he was an excellent special teams player too. So, he'll have a lesser role in special teams just because of workload, focus. But yes, he's a complete running back, plays all 3 downs. I think his pass protection from his rookie year to now is, it's become one of his best assets.
Scott.
Tyler Dixon with DAP. You talked about timing with CD. CD talked about timing. Does timing come back a little faster when you've got CD and Zach have spent so much time together over the years?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think that's part of the growth, and I think you see the production, where it went last year. So yeah, definitely. But we just got it's more about the wrinkles that we've changed. I mean, he's aware of them. He's been in touch with the with the video and during the time away. But now just being here, those are the things we're focused on. Just make sure we get those reps.
Son.
Saudis at The Athletic. When it comes to John Stevens, you guys talked like last year that he was on path to make the roster last year before his injury. Now that he is here, do you envision certain areas of the field that he has a higher role, or what do you see his role on this team?
But Phil, I was going to make fun of you. No, yeah, I'm only going to put him in on the 20-yard line, but going in.
Here's my fear about all these. Like, I'm with Mark Hutchton. Shout out to Mark Hutchton, channel member. Thanks, brother. Thanks for the hard work you do. We count on the farmers. Trust me, I got family in Texas who are farmers. Without the farmers, without the agriculture, without the soil being good, we got nothing, people. So shout out to Mark Huston and what he does. But he's not a Deuce Vaughn guy. I like Deuce Vaughn. I like the story. I like the explosiveness. I think he's he's a tough matchup. And I think that Dallas will be wise to integrate him. My fear with Mike McCarthy is he's a veteran guy. You saw with Hunter Lepke, he had a stupid mistake. Hunter Lepke is a hell of a running back after North Dakota State. He's not a fullback. He's a big boy. He's kind of more like a Mike Allstott type, if I had to guess. He's still getting into his body, but he's a big guy. He fumbled at the goal line, you remember, against Miami, and they basically never saw him again. Mike is a little, and as most coaches, but I fear that Mike's not going to use John Stevens Jr. And if you're not going to use John Stevens Jr., why do we keep him? I think John Stevens Jr. has a lot of room to get better. He's a wide receiver in college converted to a tight end. He went off last year in training camp, but you know how that works. How many players have we seen have great, like Dennis Houston, all these guys have great training camps, and then not so much when it comes to actual preseason games. So, I don't know. My thing is, why are we asking about John? We should be asking about Peyton, Luke Schoonmaker, is he going to step up and be able to stay on the field? Use 12 personnel. You kept Brevin Spanford and you lost Julius Wood. I love Brevin Spanford because you gave him $250,000 signing bonus to get him here. I love Brevin Spanford, but he's a developmental guy, make no mistake about it. Yet he's on the 53-man roster. We'll see about that. But John Stevens, you have to get him the ball. He's a matchup nightmare. Start running 12 personnel, especially early on in the season, at Cleveland, against Myles Garrett. Coaching wins, people. Coaching matters. Just look at your Super Bowl champion the last 3 years. Look at Andy Reid. The reason why he beat the Philadelphia Eagles, who were a far superior team in that Super Bowl, was head coaching. Dracula got out head coached. That's the bottom line. Okay? Time management goes into that. But Nick Sirianni, make no mistake, got out coached by Andy Reid. Eagles were the more talented team. Everybody knew it. You were on a roll. True. Who knows if he'll get back, bro? Everybody's talking Eagles Super Bowl. That defense has to go a long way. That offense is about as talented as a. I want to hear in the last 10 years what offenses are more talented. Maybe the Niners. Maybe the Niners. Maybe Detroit. I think the Eagles are more talented than Detroit. They got 2 number 1 receivers and a number 2 receiver, Jahan Dotson, that they got from the Commanders. They got Saquon Barkley. They got a top, maybe it's not 1, maybe it's top 3 offensive line. It could be 1. You got a top 5 tight end. Come on. The Eagles offense, they better win 13 games. There's no excuses, people. That's the thing, But the Eagles aren't relying on a lot of young players on offense. I think that's an advantage for the Cowboys. Anyway, sorry. I got off on a tangent. Let's listen more of Coach McCarthy.
But yes, I think you're talking red zone, obviously, which is obviously he's such a big target. Definitely like the way he's grown. But I think when you get into these moments, because now, you got to pick your 48/49 with the third quarterback. How does that all fit together? So he definitely has done some really, really good things in the passing game, but special teams, that's really the area he has to really focus on because that's what a lot of these decisions will come down to. But yeah, I'm not looking at him as just a situational player. If you look at training camp and particularly the fundamentals, the drill work, the combination periods. We'll have one, today with the 9-on-7. I think he's done a much better job in the inline blocking. So I am very happy with the progress he's made.
Babe. Babe Lockberg, Cowboys Radio. Like you said during camp, you have to make adjustments when the draft class comes in, and understanding that's an ongoing process. But when do you get a feel for, the draft class and what they can and cannot do?
Well, I think really the way this thing's shaping up, I think we'll have more contribution from our draft class early than probably in quite some time. I mean, our draft class has been very mature. Communication skills, just the way they've exerted themselves. Going back to the off-season program, I've been very impressed with them. And they're going to have some opportunities here early, starting in Cleveland. So I'd say, when do you know? I think clearly when you get into camp, you get into the padded work, particularly these practices we had at the end of camp. You could see them, taking the steps. So, now it's for real. Yeah. But yeah, I think when we get to the end, a couple years down the road, I think we'll look back on this draft class with a very positive review because they're off to an excellent start. And they
Yeah, I think that we're going to stop it there. We're not hearing that much, but just wanted to kind of touch on the young guys. Draft class, let's look at last year's draft class. Mozzie Smith, question mark, right? Second round pick of last year. Let me see now I'm searching here. Second round pick last year. Luke Schoonmaker. I don't have to look. Luke Schoonmaker. I think he's a player, right? But I'd have to go back and look and see who was on the board. There was an offensive lineman. Yeah, there were some other things, but we chose not to go that way. Luke Schoonmaker, third round. But let's look at who's gone. Fajoko's gone. Eric Scott Jr. is gone. We didn't get much. We didn't get much help last year. Overshown is like if Overshown could turn out to be a Pro Bowler, then now you're looking at okay. If Luke Schoonmaker can be better than average, which I believe he can, just has to stay on the field. I know certain people say he played 17 games. Nah. So yes, let's look at it from that perspective. Last year's draft, not so much. We already got and are getting more. We're going to be relying on Guyton and Cooper Beebe, Marshawn Nealon. That's first 3 rounds. You're potentially seeing they're all not start. I mean, Nealon could start, but I don't think Nealon's going to start on paper. It doesn't matter really who starts. It matters who finishes the game. I think they're going to find a way to get Nealon and Parsons on the field at the same time. Or if D-Law is out, then you'll have Nealon, though, So think about it. This year's draft class, first round, Guyton, start. Second round, Nealon is going to be playing a lot of snaps. He might get some starts. Third round, Cooper Beebe. Fourth round, Maris Leofau. Again, he's probably not starting this year, but we're going to go with a 3 linebacker set. He's going to get a lot of plays every game. So that's a lot of contributions from our first 4 rounds. I'm excited. But if Deuce Vaughn can come on from last year, now we're starting to get into, okay, that draft wasn't as bad. Maybe it'll be, normally you wait 3 years. We've been getting spoiled by our Cowboys drafts. But all right, everybody, I'm going to cut this video short. Just wanted to get you up to speed on some of what's going on in preparation. Preparation for the Cleveland Browns starts yesterday. I'm making this video today, Friday, so Thursday, the 29th. So I'll talk to everybody later. Expect more content today. We'll do a live stream some point, and whether it's this afternoon or maybe tonight leading into Marks. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But lunchtime chat coming your way possibly? Let me know. I'll talk to you later.